Liebe Angela, dear Andrei, dear friends from the HDZ, especially Dubravka, who chaired in the last years the delegation of the Croatian team, and I tell you, they did a great job in the European Parliament. Dubravka, thank you so much for this. Dear Carlo, dobra večer Zagreb, dobra večer Hrvatska, dragi prijatelji. Dear friends, it's great to be here, to have so much friends from our party here in Zagreb together, under the leadership of Andrej Plenković, the Croatian Prime Minister and successful leader of this great country. To be here, it's really a great moment. And I tell you, that's the idea to come to Zagreb and to start in the last week in the election campaign, before we arrive on the 26th of May to the European elections. The idea to come to Zagreb was a clear idea and I would say a normal and reasonable decision. Why? Because first of all, Croatia is one of our youngest members inside of the European Union. You can really feel how it is to feel the spirit of being part of our strong European Union. You can see here in Croatia a strong EPP party. The HDZ is one of our strongest members, a strong pillar of our movement, European-wide, and I thank you so much for your great engagement, for showing what EPP means. And the third element is your Prime Minister, Andrej, a close friend of me. We started our work also, he did it and I did it in the European Parliament. We experienced what it means to work for the European idea, for the EPP on European level. And today, ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of Andrej, Croatia is a stable country. Croatia has a good growth development, growth rate. Croatia wants to have more Europe, has a clear ambition to join the Euro, to join the Schengen area and become a full member of the European Union. And today, Croatia is in the first row of the European leaders because Andrej Plenković is a respected Prime Minister and a strong European leader. Andrej, congratulations for this. I was not aware that on this Saturday I have another argument for being in Zagreb. I don't know whether you know it already, but today the FC Bayern won as a soccer champion in Germany, and that's why, stop. That's why I really have to deeply thank my Croatian friends, because that was only possible under the leadership of a strong Croat, and that was Niko Kovac. So thank you for this, thank you for this. There is no need to say that I'm a big fan of FC Bayern, so that's no need to say. Dear friends, in the next upcoming weeks, we will have the final days of the campaign, and then the people will have their say about the future of Europe. And we as EPP, we give people a clear idea what we think about Europe. I'm 46 years old. And I can say, as 46 years old person, that I'm the first generation on this continent who can live all over Europe in peace and freedom. You commemorated today about the victims of the war in Croatia. Today we can say we live all over Europe in peace and freedom. And ladies and gentlemen, this achievement was due to strong leaders from our political family. In the founding period of the European Union, it was Adenauer, De Gasperi, Schuman. Then it was Helmut Kohl in Germany. It was Tudjman in Croatia. It was then And then it was the leadership under the Christian Democrats in Germany of Angela Merkel who guaranteed that this European Union has a good future and will develop in a positive future. So having this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we must tell people that in these elections, the 26th of May, people decide first of all whether we keep this approach alive, whether we keep our unity, whether we want to work together. And I tell you, I will fight with all my possibilities, with all my means. I will fight against those who want to destroy the Europe we built up. I fight against the nationalists. I fight against the populists. They will not destroy our today's European Union, ladies and gentlemen. And having this in mind, we have to show people that the EPP is a party who can offer now concrete offers for the next period for the European Union, for the next decade, for the next era. If you want to have a strong Europe, you have to strengthen the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, for this I think we have to recognize that this European Union is not first of all an economic zone where we do trade, where we work together and only do business. For us, Europe was always more than this. And I give you one example. I already mentioned once, Andre, when I was also here, I think the podium was over there, 2016, 17, I don't know, in a party congress where I had the honor to speak. And I already presented one fundamental idea which is still extremely important for us, and that is not only economic union, but a Europe of values. And when you fly with me through Europe, you start in Dublin and you fly to Athens. When you start in Lisbon and you fly to Helsinki, then you have crossed Europe 2 times. And you will experience a lot of diversity in Europe. But one thing, with a few exceptions, one thing is in common. In all the villages, in all the cities you fly through, there is in the middle a Christian church. And that's why we believe in the Christian fundament of this European Union, and this gives also for us orientation for the future. I was traveling now around Europe during the last month with the so-called listening tour. Good politics starts for us with listening to people, taking their concerns into account. That is our approach of politics. And I tell you, one element which was always mentioned was the question of migration, still on the agenda. And there the EPP has a clear message towards the people. The first message is that the state must decide who is arriving in Europe and not the smugglers decide who is arriving on Europe. We have to protect our borders, and therefore we present 10,000 Frontex officers to show solidarity also with Croatia. And the second side of the medal when we talk about migration is that when Pope Francis is in front of the Mediterranean Sea in Lampedusa and reminds us about our humanitarian and Christian responsibility, then we have to listen and we have to take care about those who really need our help. And for us, this means for the future that we need a kind of resettlement program. And first of all, we have to care about Africa. I tell you, Croatia and Europe will not have a good future when our neighboring continent, Africa, is living in a chaotic situation. And that's why we have to care with a big, ambitious Marshall Plan for Africa. And the second point people are mentioning when I speak with them is the economic situation, growth and economic perspective. I promise that we do our best to create in the next 5 years 5 million additional jobs in Europe. Under the leadership of Jean-Claude Juncker in the last 10 years, we created 13 million jobs. So it is possible to create jobs in Europe when we do the right things. And that means investment in infrastructure, full solidarity with Croatia on the funds. I want to have an innovative Europe. That's why I present a master plan in fight against cancer. Let's be ambitious as Europeans. Let's present a master plan in fight cancer that we as Europeans are the first who can stop and even cure cancer, ladies and gentlemen. An ambitious goal for the future. And I believe in the single market. And one promise is important, especially here in Croatia, but all over Europe. And that is that we fight for a Europe where all Europeans have in the future same and equal living conditions, where nobody is anymore forced to leave his home country only to economic reasons. We have to stop brain drain also from Croatia. That is what is a promise for the future. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to do trade. And that is also an element where we show some differences. The socialists in the European Parliament are not ready to support modern and fair trade agreements. We are ready to do so. We want to make trade with the rest of the world because our European economy depends on the mechanisms that we can sell our European products to the rest of the world. That is extremely important. The socialists and the Greens are not credible on this. We are the party of trade. We believe in trade. But I want to add one element. Let's use the economic power of the European Union through the trade agreements with the rest of the world to also export in a way our values. What do I mean with this? I would promise to you to include in all the future trade agreements one paragraph where we guarantee that no product is sold in an European supermarket where children have to work for in third state countries. Let's imagine that we can guarantee that children must not anymore work, that we do a ban on child labor, and we can guarantee that children can go to school and have not go to a job, dear ladies and gentlemen. Let's use our economic power to make the world a better place. And finally, coming back to the idea that Europe is more than only an economic area. I spoke about the Christian identity of our continent, and I must remind you that one old question of Europe is back on this continent. And that is the question of this upsplitting nationalism, which created in the last decades and centuries of our continent so much division and even the wars. This only thinking in nationalism and not thinking in being Europeans created so much problems on this continent. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe in patriotism. We love our country, the Croatian state and nation. I am from Germany, that is my nation. We love our countries. We are good patriots, but we also believe in togetherness on European level. We are Europeans in the same moment. And ladies and gentlemen, in the same day, today on Saturday, in Milan, in Italy, the nationalists meet there. Salvini, Le Pen are doing also their campaigning. And Le Pen is standing in the first row, and when she is doing campaign in France, then she tells people, be proud about your country, be proud about France, and to hell with Europe. That is what nationalism is telling people today all over Europe. In Germany, it's the AfD. That is what they are telling people all over Europe. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to answer this. My first answer is that I will fight with all my means against these nationalisms, because they will destroy again what we achieved in our European Union of today. And I give the promise that they will not work together in one moment and in one single issue with all the right populists in the next European Parliament. They will not be part of a majority of Manfred Weber. I am clear on this. But there is a bigger question behind. How can we bring it again together, the different identities? And let me quote finally a former president of my party from the CSU in Bavaria. It was Franz Josef Strauss who said already in the 60s of the last century, he said the words, "I'm a proud Bavarian, Germany is my nation and Europe is my future." And that means for me today, I don't allow the nationalists to create a split out of these identities. That is belonging together. That is what we believe in, and we will defend it against the nationalists. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for the support. Carlo, all the best for the campaign. Andrej, thank you so much for the friendship. Thank you, Zagreb. Thank you, Hrvatska.